just because, you know, we won. Yeah. You guys won. Good job.
Let's back up.
How many of you guys were at reunion and heard John O'Leary? Oh, so not many of you. Okay, well, that's good. Which reunion was that? I was trying to, was that St. Louis? Okay, I couldn't remember. Yeah, Katrina wasn't there either. I was just trying to remember. Well, I don't know about, since many of you didn't get a chance to hear him, but for those of us that did, at least for me personally, I've been to all of Scentssy's reunion since I joined in 2008, and he was by far the most amazing speaker I've ever heard. I mean, would you guys agree that got to hear him? He was phenomenal. And so Diane originally had planned a training for tonight, and she was sick. And so in case you guys didn't see, my daughter had her wisdom teeth out this morning. So I wasn't real sure I was going to be here either, but fortunately Joe is playing nurse. Well, kind of. We'll see. We'll see if she's still in good shape when I get home. But anyways, so I got to thinking, I was guessing that many of you have got so many new people that have come into the business since then. This guy was phenomenal. And we have his presentation. They actually recorded it at the Scentsy convention. And I wanted to play this for you guys. So I know it's kind of hard sometimes to sit, but I promise you, if you will sit and take this in, we'll have some discussion afterwards. And I really feel like it's a great way to go into 2016 and really charge you guys up and kind of change the way you think. And hopefully that's going to help you both personally and professionally. So stay with me, watch this. I think you're going to love it, and I will turn the lights out. And I'm hoping the online viewers will get to enjoy it as well. I'll turn the lights down too. No sleeping allowed. I'll throw things. Yeah, let's see what happens. No. Okay, pause for a brief commercial. I will go get them. I love that. Okay, who wants to stand up and give a commercial? Somebody talk about reunion, share the dates, say the date. Let's see. That would be interesting to do. What are you thinking about?
Hey, who's registered for reunion? I'm just kidding, I can't register there yet. Okay, let's see, reunion dates I think are the 19th, 20th, and 21st this year. That's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Somebody tell me if I'm okay, so who has no clue what reunion is? Anyone? Great, everyone already knows. No, that's a lie, you do. You do too.
I kind of
They didn't raise their hand. That means they want me to stop talking. Okay, so
I've never been to one.
Scentsy Family Reunion is like our annual convention, which a lot of places and companies do. It is absolutely the most fun thing that you will ever attend. Registration usually opens the beginning of March. There is a payment plan, so you can pay over time if you can't afford to pay up for it all at once. When you register, there's usually several options so that you can get all-inclusive package, or you can get just the training, however you need to do it depending on what your budget is. But you're going to want to start saving now. Put your change in a jar or whatever. Start saving now, because you're also going to need your money for hotel, transportation, and food. Let's see, what else?
It's being held
in Nashville.
In Nashville, what did I just say? In Nashville at the Gaylord Hotel. And Chuck did confirm, Chuck Thompson confirmed that leadership that they will have enough rooms at the Gaylord that everybody should be able to stay there should they want to. That will be the only room in the Scentsy room block. So just FYI.
Yeah, previously, we had Scentsy room blocks at several different hotels, and that was because we couldn't all get in one hotel. The reason they're doing it at this one is because we can all stay in the same hotel. And I will tell you, having done it both ways, staying in a hotel where it's cheaper, that's not where the Scentsy room blocks are, and it's cheaper, I've done that, don't do it. It's a hassle getting to where the Scentsy events are, will be a hassle. I'm gonna tell you, for convenience sake and to save your own sanity, just stay at where the Scentsy room blocks are. You'll be, if you do that, you'll be in walking distance, you'll be able to get to everything a lot easier. You won't have to worry about parking. And when 10,000 Scentsy consultants are trying to park and go to the same place at the same time, you will want to rip your hair out. So it's actually the most fun thing I've ever done, but over time I've learned the best ways to do it, and I'm gonna tell you, get the Scentsy room block rooms and stay there. It's gonna be a lot more fun for you if you do that.
Good job, Angela.
And as far as making it affordable, you might look when they come out and think that's too much, but think about it. You can put 4 people to a room. It's actually a lot more fun. I never get to do that because my husband always does, which is a good thing because he's supportive. I don't mean that that's bad. I just mean if you're paying, $200 for a hotel and you split it by 4, it's really only $50. It's really not that big of a deal.
And it's a lot more fun that way. And I've also had team members a lot that get together on the team page and book that room with other people, other ladies on the team that they've never met before. Maybe they're ladies from another state or whatever, they've never met them before. That's way out of some people's comfort zones, but it makes your experience so much better. One, to be sharing it with other Scentsy people and getting to know other people. You're networking, you have more opportunity to sit and chat and share ideas, and you're gonna learn and grow that way. It's gonna grow your business. And then 2, if you're comfortable all of the time, you're not doing this right and your business is not gonna grow. So step out of your comfort zone. If you need to book that room with other people to make it affordable, absolutely do that, and they don't have to be people you already know.
You did a great job. Perfect commercial. Good job, Christy. See why I called on her? She did a great job. Thank you. Okay, I think we're set. Let me know if you guys have sound issues or anything, and we can make adjustments accordingly. So, and let's please try to keep the other noise quiet.
Welcome to St. Louis. This is my hometown. I am so fired up to have y'all here. 10 years ago, it would have been lonely, and today you fill up a stadium. That's a credit not only to the early leaders, but to each and every one of you, what you do professionally as consultants, but also what you do personally, the challenges you choose to overcome. And today we get to celebrate how we can show spirit not only at the Dome, but tonight, tomorrow, and for the rest of our lives. And I'd like to spend about an hour with you, giving you 3 ways specifically that you can do it in your business and in your relationships. And the first, and I think it's always the first, you show spirit, my friends, by showing love. So we're going to start this morning with a little love. Right now we're going to talk about a different kind of love. A love that changes relationships and changes lives. Have you ever done anything that, looking back on it, you regret? No one. 8,000 people and only one hand goes up, second row. When I was a child, I grew up 15 minutes down the road, and I saw some boys in my neighborhood playing with fire and gasoline. And what these little guys would do is sprinkle some gasoline on a sidewalk. They would strike a match, step back like 2 feet for safety. Throw the match on top, and the liquid would dance to life. And when you are 9 years old and a boy, this is awesome. And you're looking up at other people and you're thinking, geez, if these 11-year-olds with their peach fuzz can do this and get away with it. What's the next line? Say it a little louder, please. Perfect. I can too. So can I. So that weekend, it's on. It is on. My dad's gone. My mom's out. I have the house to myself. You know where I'm going, Sensi? Walk into the garage. I light a piece of cardboard on fire. Bend down next to a can of gasoline. And the plan is to pour a little bit on top to watch it spark to life. And right now, probably all the ladies are sitting here this morning thinking, what is wrong with this guy? And every man sitting next to you is thinking, geez, I wonder if he put the G.I. Joe guys in first or second. Because little boys are crazy. We're reckless. It's one of our great gifts, and it's also sometimes one of our great downfalls. But I'm just this curious little kid over the can of gasoline, and I realized I can't pick it up. It's too heavy. So I set the flame on the ground, bear hug the container, and then very carefully tip it, waiting for the liquid to come out. And yet before the liquid shows up, what came out first? Yes, the vapor, the fumes, the invisible stuff. It's always the invisible stuff that burns us, I think. That day, those vapors came out, grabbed the flame, pulled it back into the container, created this massive explosion that split the can in two, picks me up, Sensi, and launches me 20 feet against the far side of the garage. When we were little, we all learned what to do when we're on fire. What are you supposed to do when you're on fire? Yes, perfect, class. Stop, drop, and roll. Anybody have a bear named Smokey that used to come through their classroom? Remember that big old grizzly? This bear used to walk into our classroom. He'd stumble around. He'd smell. Like a mix between campfire smoke and alcohol. Smelled a little bit like Coach, by the way. And then this bear would say, stop, drop, and roll. And we would say, yes, sir. But my friends, when you are the one on fire, and you are the one who is scared, and everything around you is aflame, what do? Say it a little louder, please. Run. Get out. That day, I was so scared, I took off running. The training went out the window. Sometimes this is what happens to our training if it's not connected to our heart. That's really what Show Me Spirit at St. Louis is all about. Making sure that what we know is what we do. That day, I took off scared, ran through the flames, back into the house, came into the kitchen, ran through the kitchen, the family room, and stood then on the front hall on top of this rug, screaming and burning and begging and praying for a hero. I'll take anybody, God, anybody, because I can't do it for myself. And I see my brother Jim racing toward me. He was 17 when I was 9. Anybody have an older brother or sister growing up? If you do, put your hand up. Would you describe that person as someone who showed you love? Let's be more specific. If you're in the front hall on fire and you're praying for a hero, is that the dude you're hoping is going to show up? No, man. The last guy in the world. The last guy in the world was my brother Jim. And so as he's racing toward me, I'm thinking, man, God, you got to do someone better than this. You got to do better than this. And yet, this is his moment to shine. Hear that loud and clear, ladies and gentlemen. This is our moment to shine. This is his moment to shine. What he does next is nothing short of, I think, miraculous and very courageous. He showed a lot of spirit. He picked up a rug, ran over to me, flames leaping 3 feet off of my body in all directions. And with the little rug, he swung down left and then right. And then he dropped the rug and he pulls back. Why do you think he dropped the rug? Because it caught on fire. You ever touch anything hot? You You've never touched it. You've never touched anything hot ever. Cup of coffee, piece of pizza. When you touch something hot, what do you naturally do? Pull back, baby. Pull back. Save yourself. What he does first is to pull back and save himself because it got hard. It gets hard in life. It got hard for him. What he does next is awesome, though. He comes back into the fight. He picks back up the rug, steps back into the fight, swings down a third time, and then a fourth and a fifth for 2.5 minutes, feeding down these flames, saving my life, giving this little boy a chance, becoming my hero. One moment, I'm this happy and healthy, and as I zoom in and you see it nice and clear, you look, it's extremely good looking. It's okay, you can nod your head. But let's call it out. Things like that. That is either a laser level, or if you grew up in the 80s, you know what else it might have been. What else might it have been? That's right. A freaking bowl. That is when mama sits you on the toilet and just saucer cuts you. And that white thing you see around my chin and going down from there, what's that called? A freaking dicky. Someone got it right there. That is exactly what it's called, a freaking dicky. They're horrible. I won't even go into them right now. I've never tried to wear a dicky, though. It's a horrible thing. But if you look at that little kid, he's got a mom and a dad who love him. He's got a great, safe community. Everything is going perfect. It's going just the way we had always hoped and dreamed. And then everything blows up. And this comes. Since you know it from the last couple of years, sometimes the challenges come, they mount. But you also know it from your personal walk and your relationships and your health and with your kids and your aging parents. Life blows up. And then what? The next picture will be really hard to look at. So some of you may want to shut your eyes just for a moment. I found myself as a child on my back down the street in the hospital with burns on 100% of my body. 87% were third degree. I'm dying. And I remember laying in this hospital bed looking up at the ceiling by myself, and all I could think was, oh my gosh, my dad is going to freaking kill me. He's going to kill me when he finds out. By a show of hands, how many of you have ever had a disciplinarian in your lives? Look at all those hands. I mean, it's almost everybody. Remember being late for curfew? Or maybe when your coach in high school sent you home with a DL report card? Little disappointments like that, man. What do you think might happen when you blow up their house? My dad's gonna kill me. I knew it. I knew I deserved it. I'm laying in this bed, and then I hear my father's voice down the hall, yelling at some poor nurse. Where is my boy, John? And I'm back here thinking, oh my gosh. The old man has come to finish me off. And this nurse does me no favors because she leads my dad right back to where I'm lying. She should have called security, but she leads him right on back. He pulls back this curtain, he walks, and the dude's mad. Stumbles over to me, points down, and then he laid in. But I was ready for it. My arms were crossed kind of like this. I was ready for it when my dad said to me very firmly, John, look at me. I have never been so proud of anybody in my entire life. And my little buddy, today, I'm just proud to be your dad. And then he says, listen to these words, these are powerful. He says, I love you. I love you. I love you, John. I love you. I thought something was wrong with him. I love you. I love you. So I remember shutting my eyes as a little child thinking, oh my gosh, nobody told my dad what happened. The old man doesn't know. And then I'm thinking, man, I wonder if I can get away with it. I can get away with this thing. Cincy, what do you think? Does Dad know what happened? Yes or no? Yes, I heard it loud and clear. And at first he was mad. There is time for anger. But when it actually blew up and he pulled back this curtain and he saw the devastation, my dad changed. That there are ultimately two things that will motivate us in life. The first is fear. Fear loses though. The one that wins in the long run and beginning today and always, love. Fear versus love. It's a continuous battle, but love wins. My dad chose love, and it is a choice. He changed. I followed. And right behind my dad's love came my mom's. If you look at that picture up there, probably some of us are sitting back right now thinking, John, so far it's a good story, but we got a question for you. And this is awkward, so don't take it personally, but which one's your mom, which one's your dad? And that's fair, since it's okay. That's my mama on your left, my daddy on your right. They used to like to dress alike and cut their hair alike. Mom and Dad were great, though. They were awesome. My mom walks into this room, and the first thing she says to me, she takes my right hand, and then she speaks these words. I love you. I love you. Powerful. And I remember looking up at her and saying, Mama, knock it off with the love. Am I going to die? Have you ever asked a question where you don't really want the answer, you want hope? You know what I mean? Are we going to be okay? Sometimes you just want to have someone pat you on the back and say, baby, you are fine. I wanted my mom to tell me when we get a milkshake that night. That's what I wanted to hear. But she gave me truth in the form of a question, and it took a lot of honesty and love. She looks me in the eyes, my hand in hers, and she says to me, baby, do you want to die? Your choice, not mine. This woman is either extraordinarily cold-hearted. You can all vote on Twitter right now, but she's either extremely cold-hearted or exceptional. Exceptional. Love wins, man. It takes courage and boldness. But she walked in, she made me walk over to the cliff with her. She pointed down and she said, that's one way you can go, but you must choose if you want to go another. You can choose to go this way instead, John. And I looked at her and I said, Mama, I don't want to die. I want to live. So she says, good. Then take the hand of God, walk the journey with Him, and maybe you fight like you never fought before. Since we had no clue what Sunday morning would look like, or Monday afternoon would look like, or the following day would look like, what we knew as a family is the fight was on. The fight was on. We knew that we were going to fight forward. We knew where this thing was going to end up. We knew our answer ultimately to this question. But today, and at your parties and then going forward, I don't encourage you to ask people this question. It just, I don't know, it doesn't really turn people on for some reason. But the question as we look in the mirror is less about death and much more about life and vibrancy and significance and true spirit. So today, do you want to live? And I'm asking, do you want to live? Do you want to thrive? Have your best year yet? Right on. So let's talk about that. I'm going to ask you today 3 questions. The first one is going to be all about love. It's going to be all about you in your personal walk and in your professional life. So here's the first question. Who and what am I fighting, living, and loving for today? As I think about my role as a consultant, as a parent, as a daughter, a son, who are those people? And what are those dreams, those goals that I am living, loving, and fighting for today? We start with love. 30 seconds, please. Just think about your answer. 30 seconds. Some of us right now are sitting back, kind of blown away. This is a pretty emotional story, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can take much more. So for those of you who are still unsure of where this story ends up, the kid ends up surviving. And what I know, hang on. What I know about us is so do we. But it is sometimes a fight, and what I would encourage us to move forward with in our motivation is love. Forget about fear, leave it behind, let it go into yesterday. Let's talk about love. So that's the starting point. Love. Love of our work, love of our team, love of the folks we get to serve, love of life. So that's where we start, and then we take the next step together as a family. Show me some spirit, love, and the next step, show me some why. Show me some why. By show of hands, how many of you have children? What's their favorite question? Why? Notice today, though, that's not a question mark. It's an exclamation point. It's a calling. It's mission work. It's realizing that our lives matter. There was a great fellow named Viktor Frankl who wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning. And 8 times he uses the same quote to describe how he's moving through great adversity. The quote was, when you know your why, you can endure anyhow. When you know your why, you can endure anyhow. So the why is what our life ultimately is all about, what we would fight for, what we would live for. So I had a bunch of folks who lived the why for me as a child in the hospital, starting with my burn doc, and then the entire team, physicians, radiologists, folks who swept the floors, the custodians, nurses, of course. One of our nurses looked less like this gal, a little bit more like this man. Do you remember him from the movie? What's his name? It's Apollo Creed, man. I had a nurse who looked just like him. His name was Nurse Roy. Okay, so this beautiful fellow would walk into my room every day. He would pick me up, and he would get me to stand up. It took the physical therapist consultants 9 months to get me to stand up. It took Nurse Roy a grand total of 2 months. It wasn't his job. The man on the walk back, though, would carry me with my little legs hanging between his, dangling back and forth, back and forth. So I never touched the ground. But I felt like I was walking. And on the walk back, he would whisper into my right ear. He'd say to me very sweetly, he'd say, you have to lean in, right? Boy, listen to me. You are going to walk again. You might as well get used to it. First time he said that to me, I hated him. Because I knew he was full of it. I knew I was never, ever going to walk again. Man, have you seen my legs? They're all burnt up. I'm not going to walk, Roy. And the following day, I'm hanging out in bed, minding my own business. The door opens up. Ah, my sunshine again. He walks into my room, back into my life, picks me back up out of bed, and then he says these words. Listen again. Consultants, listen. Instead of listening with fear, though, tune in with love. Listen. Boy, you will walk again. I'll walk with you. Come on. Come on. Move those legs. It's a love song. It's a love song. Not like Train, maybe, but it's a pretty darn good love song. This walk goes on with him back eventually toward a bandage change room where the man would pick me up and then submerge me in a stainless steel tub of water, and they would do a bandage change. They would change all the wrappings. I brought 2 pictures. These are going to be the last hard pictures you have to look at this morning. So you may want to shut your eyes. Some of you have had your eyes shut since I started speaking at 8:30. Keep your eyes shut. These are hard to look at, so shut your eyes if you'd like. It takes these nurses 45 minutes to pull off the bandages, and then they do their job. The job's called a bereavement. It's hard work. They raise a little guy out of the tub. They set him on a side table. They dry him off, remedicate, and rewrap. 2 hours of torture. For them. For them. Forget about the patients for a moment. I think when we think of our own lives, how do we do the impossible day after day, whether it's with kids or you work as a consultant or leading forward in life? It points back ultimately to that quote, when you know your why, you can endure anyhow. When you realize that through your work and through your lives that miracles happen, and they happen every day, but people gotta fight for them. You can do it with your lives. And when you see this picture, when that screen comes up, what I would imagine the vast majority of our 8,000 family members are thinking right now is, oh my gosh, the guy went through so much as a little boy. And then the poor guy has to settle on a girl like that. I have a feeling not one single person was thinking that. And you should not, because that is the most beautiful woman in any room she walks into, not at all though because of her face or her body. This is a woman, please, this is a woman, leaders, who shines because of her heart, because of her eyesight, because of her ability to see past what everybody else might focus on, where she sees possibility. She sees beauty. She sees perfection. I'm blessed to be with her. And the night we were married, not just Beth and I, we got married about a 6-minute walk away from where we are right now. So we got married right up the street. We had our parents in the first row and grandparents and family and friends. That night we had a party. And we had 2 tables of friends that I had not seen in 20 years. These men and women who did so much and served so valiantly when I was a little boy in the hospital bed. The only nurse unable to make it was Nurse Roy. And we invited him. What stinks is I never got to tell Roy, thank you. I never really got to show him what he was able to prove out. We weren't able to find him. And it would have been beautiful if he was sitting there in the church the night that his boy walked onto some altar, started sweating profusely. This gal and her father walked down the aisle. We meet and we greet, we exchange our vows, we kissed. And then we turn. And we do this. What do? Not later on that night, please, people. I heard it, and I hope you heard it too, and I hope you knew those words already. We walked. We walked. That was not my vision. I had no vision for myself. That was not the vision of those other doctors and nurses in that picture. They knew what we faced. They knew the little kid was never going to walk, and through what they knew so well came one person, because all it takes is one. One man walked through their knowledge, picked this little kid up, and said to him, "Boy, forget death. You will walk, and I'll walk with you." Powerful words. I'll walk with you. I think that's what folks on our team, friends in our family, colleagues around in life, that's what they long to hear. So it leads us now, friends, to our second question. The first was all about love, the things and the people that we would fight for. The second is why? 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 Why will I thrive? Why will I thrive? Why will I thrive? Make it personal. 20 seconds, please. Just make it personal. Why will you thrive? Begin your answer with the word because. All right, my friends, I find if someone speaks at me too long, in particular if I went to a Cardinal game last night, I get rocked to sleep pretty quickly. But when I get to share my story, it lights me up. And it lights up the men and women that I get to share it with. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do an in-class quiz. Who likes taking quizzes? Maybe we're back in school. We had 2 hands up. Good news is all 8,000 of us get to take the quiz. Coach will grade them afterwards. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to turn to the nearest consultant, the nearest friend, the nearest family member. You're going to look at him or her, and you're going to say these words. I need you to remember them. Hi. This is awkward for me too. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. and this is when it gets good. And then you're going to say, today I am fighting for, and I'm fighting for this because of. Here it goes. I'll give it to you one more time. Hi. This is awkward for me too. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Today I am fighting for this, and the reason why is this. 90 seconds to have some fun with your family members. Go ahead, share away. All right, family members. Let the reunion continue. Here we go. You ready? When you show your Cincy spirit, what's the first way by which you do it? It begins with an L. You do it with love, and you do it beautifully already. The second way we do it is with why. And the third way, this is how we land it, this is how we get there, this is how we take action. We show our Cincy spirit with more. I need a little bit more. Give me a little bit more, please. Awesome. Woo! All right, let's go. More. So love, why, which is purpose, and then more, which is not necessarily activity. It's more about openness. Just being wide open to more possibility through your lives. So more. Let's talk about it. Little guy gets burned down the street. They bring him into the hospital. The first thing they have to do is tie him down to the bed because he keeps fighting back against the doctors and the nurses. So they got to keep him tied down on the bed, not just on that first morning, but for the next 5 months. So you can't move. Your lungs are burned. So you can't breathe. So they put a hole in your neck. What's that called? You got a trach, which is great because now you can breathe, but you can't eat or drink. Or talk. You can't do anything. And you have one more challenge. The challenge is you're so swollen that your little eyes are swollen shut. So you can't see either. Which means all you can really do is feel, fear, dream, pray, hope, smell. Baby, fragrance is powerful. I'm telling you right now, you all know that, but I'm telling you, it is a powerful deal. It can bring you back to what a grandparent smell like, back to a first date. Fragrance is powerful. I can smell. I can smell when my mom walked in. You can smell when your eyes are shut. So I had that going on, and I had the ability to listen. You ever notice when your eyes are shut how much more you hear? Some of you have been listening beautifully this entire time. But when your eyes are shut, you hear everything. And as a little kid growing up in this neighborhood, we all have come for your reunion, there was one thing that we used to love to do in the 80s. Some of you did this last night, and we like baseball here. We love baseball. In the 80s, when I grew up, we weren't watching the games at that new stadium. The games were never on television. So maybe for you too, but how would we used to watch baseball or sports back in the day? You listen, the radio. We had a fella in St. Louis named Jack Buck. Jack Buck was the voice of the Cardinals for 49 years. He was my hero for 9 of them. This is my hero. I never met the man, never met him, but I loved him. I loved that guy. Loved his voice. So I'm laying here in a hospital. Guys, if you don't, I'm going to go back just one slide. I'm laying in this hospital like this. Can't do anything. And I hear the door open up. It's the day after I got burned, Sunday morning. Somebody walks in. They sit down. They pull the chair up close. And then I hear this voice. This voice says to me loud and clear and very firmly, "Kid, wake up. You are going to live. You are going to survive. And when you get out of here, we are going to celebrate. We'll call it John O'Leary Day at the ballpark." And then he says, listen to this, "Kid, are you listening?" And I say very loudly back. And I hear my friend, who I'd never met before that day, say to me, "Good. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. Keep fighting." And then he gets up, he walks out of that room, he pulls the door shut, leans his head against the glass, and just breaks down crying. Which we all know is a sign of great weakness. But I think it's a sign of great strength. I mean, if you're crying at every party, we probably need to talk. Okay? That may be too much emotion, maybe. But to occasionally, just maybe you let it rip and you need someone where they are, that's what's really going on here. Jack wept. And one of the nurses came over to him, got down on her knees, looked up at the celebrity, and she said, "Mr. Buck, are you okay?" And he says, "I'm not sure. The little boy won't make it, will he?" And the nurse, and this is the expert, looks back up and says, "Mr. Buck, there is absolutely not a chance." When this news comes into our life regarding our work, our relationships, our health, our children, our parents, whatever it may be, not a chance. Not a chance. What we do next matters. What this person does, he takes it home, he cries, he prays, he reflects, and then he journals on a simple question. What more can I do? What more can I do? There's 2 ways to ask this. One is to throw your hands up in the air and say, "What more can I do, man? I've done it all, I'm done." That's one way. But the way Jack chose to do it was completely out of love, knowing his why, knowing that there was one more thing to be done, that one person can in fact change the world through their life. What more can I do? And after getting his answer, he sleeps on it, wakes up in the morning, and delivers. The following morning, now it's Monday, I'm laying here in this hospital bed, bored. The door opens up, somebody walks in, they sit down, they pull the chair up close, and then I hear this voice. "Kid, wake up." You are going to live. You are going to survive. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. Kid, see you soon. And the following day, he keeps his promise and he shows back up. For 5 months, this man kept serving and coming back and inspiring and impacting. This man changed my world, I think directly in many regards. He led to a miracle called homecoming. It was many people's work and many people's prayers and many people's love and encouragement, but Jack Buck stood up high, led to that picture up there, and then a month after homecoming, man, we had to have a party. So we went downtown, we went to a place called Busch Stadium. That night, I had 13 Cokes. 13 Cokes. But every single one of them came, not from my hands, because I can't hold anything. They came from my mom's. So Jack sees this little boy, he probably drinks too much, but he can't even do it himself because mom was holding that cup up to him with a little straw. He sees a little boy in a wheelchair who can't get out of it. Roy has tried that, the therapists are trying, but the little kid can't walk. He sees a little boy without fingers, with scars and splints, all busted up. He sees it all, friends. And he sees the other side of the coin. And there is always the other side, always. When you look at the screens today, what jumps off it at you? Besides the goofy cardinal hat. The big goofy smile. Do you see it? Cover it up. Do you still see it? And the eyes. The little dude is lit up. He's fired up. So Jack sees the joy and the hope, the spirit, and he sees the pain and the brokenness and the challenges, and what he knows to be true and what you all know to be true. They walk side by side. They come in step. They come together. They come married. Jack chooses to take home both, cry about both, pray about both, and then reflect on a singular question. What more can I do? What more can I do? What more? As a consultant, as a parent, as a child, as a friend, in the community, what more can I do? Journal on it, answer it, take action. That's his secret. The following day, I'm at home with my mom and dad. Mom goes out, she comes back in with this baseball. Below the ball from a guy named Ozzie Smith is a note from a fellow named Jack Buck. And the note says, kid, if you want a second baseball, all you have to do is send a thank you letter to the man who signed the first one. Just one problem with that, Jack. What's the problem, Sensei? That's right, man. You don't have hands. You don't have fingers. You can't even hold the soda. You sure can't hold a pen. Do you think my mom and dad were trying to get me to write yes or no? What they used to do every day is to walk into my room. They would get eye level with me like this. And my mom would try to hand me a pen, and she would say to me, baby, when you learn how to write again, you get to go back to school. Mom, I'll try. I'm up for it. I'll try. Do you think a little fella in Missouri is longing to go back to school? I ignored them. But what Jack did so beautifully is he did not call me up to where he was. He met me where I was, and there's a great difference between the two. He came all the way down to where this little kid was, met him in his why. Asked the question, what more can I do? Deliver this baseball, change my world. Change my world. Do you think I wrote the note? Yes or no? Yes. Let your yes be heard today. Yes. Mailed off that note. A couple days later, I got a second baseball with a second note. Kid, if you want a third baseball, all you have to do, Sensei, is send a thank you letter to the guy who signed the second. Mama, bring me a pen. Because motivation is an inside job, and baby, I got my inspiration out. It's baseball. It is baseball. It's these little balls. I wrote another note, waited around, got a third baseball with a third note that said, what do you think it says? Louder, please. Kid, if you want a fourth baseball, all you have to do, this goes on day after day for the entire summer. And by the end of it, isn't that cool? One man sent 60 baseballs to a little kid in a wheelchair with bright red skin and no chance, some people think, changing his world, allowing him to realize, yes, indeed, you can write again. You can, in fact, write again. He had to believe first, I followed. He gave those 60 baseballs, which led back to grade school. Grade school was followed by high school. 4 years there, followed by 9 years at university. You tripped your way forward a little bit, but somehow you survived and you endured. You showed a little bit of spirit, and then somehow you graduate. And then graduation night, Sensei. Graduation night, one of the great miracles happens. The miracle, I think, is love. Love shows up. I never dated in grade school, middle school, high school, or college. That's a pretty long drought, okay? Like about a lifelong drought. Graduation night, she arrives on the scene. And she's beautiful. And you've seen her already, so you know how the story ends. But as a kid, I didn't know how it was going to end up. Graduation night, though, she shows up. You ready for her? Here she comes. True story. She gorgeous? Jack Buck. Who'd you expect? Who'd you expect? Oftentimes, she's not what we expect. She's not oftentimes exactly what we expect. She shows up sometimes as a 19-year-old brunette that you're going to meet later on that summer named Elizabeth Grace. She's beautiful, but you haven't met her yet. Other times she shows up as a 75-year-old male named Jack Buck with a great heart, Parkinson's disease, and stage 4 lung cancer. That's sometimes what she looks like. What we all know, though, from our own experiences, from our own lives, is when she shows up in our life, love changes us. And when we show up as love for those lucky enough to be around us, we change them. We change them. That night, Jack Buck came as love with a package and a note. What do you think the first word on the note said? You gotta say that louder, please. Okay, show me some spirit. One more time. Kid. Dude never knew my first name was John. Kid. Kid. This means a lot to me. I hope it means a lot to you too. Enjoy. It's yours. So I open up this package, look inside. Blows me away. And before I open up this package in front of each of you, I want you to realize the question that led to the gift. It led to him having a Hall of Fame career and a Hall of Fame life. It changed his world and those lucky enough to be around him, and it absolutely will change ours too. The question that guided his life then, and ours, I hope, what more can I do? What more? One thing. What more can I do? For Sensi, the folks I get to serve on my team, for friends in the community, for family members, for myself, my spiritual journey, my faith life, and my health, my finances. What more can I do? What more can I do? Okay, I'll try. Kid, this means a lot to me. Hope it means a lot to you too. Enjoy, it's yours. Kid, this is the baseball that I received when I went into the Hall of Fame. Don't drop it, it's priceless. He gives this heirloom away to a 22-year-old kid who had no clue what he was going to do in life. Changed my world again. His gift of love, in many regards, I think, led to this picture. Because when you have felt such powerful love from those around you, finally, eventually, you might believe in yourself, which finally happened to me, which allowed me to make the greatest sale in my life. Pictured on both screens. And then we enjoyed and opened up one of the greatest gifts in our life. This little boy named friends after one of the greatest individuals in our life. Jack. Little Jack. Jack now has a little brother named Patrick. And when I'm out of town traveling, I travel quite a bit for work. My wife hates when I'm gone. So what she does to punish me is she'll take my two handsome little guys and then she'll dress them. Like that. So when I get home, I rip off those dresses. I don't know what else you call them. I get them back in their gear. They think they're power workers, man. These are great little boys, and I remind those two little boys to love on their little brother, Jack and Patrick, and now Henry. You find, by the way, if you travel too frequently, that two parents who have dark hair can have a child with blonde hair. That's going to be our 11th reunion when I come back. We're going to talk about forgiveness. It's going to be a great We're going to get the warmers ready, baby. We're going to have a blast. I'm blessed, and I got to tell you that the gifts keep showing up. Henry, now we got a little baby girl named Grace. She is a handful. My kids are healthy. My marriage is healthy. Both of my parents are alive. My dad's got Parkinson's disease, but he's the most healthy person I know, alive in the spirit. He is a very good man. I'm blessed. Look at our country. Look at this stadium. Look at your friends and family members around you. We are fortunate. Whatever, my friends, we choose to focus on will grow around us. If you focus on the negativity, watch out because it's coming. If you focus on the possibility and the beauty of tomorrow and how it starts today, watch out because it's on, it's coming, hang on. All right, it leads us to one of our final questions today. I know no one expects this one. I hope you're all sitting down. At Sensi, as a consultant, as a parent, as a daughter, as a son, as a man, as a woman. The question I encourage you to ask tonight and going forward of yourself to impact others. What more can I do? One thing, just one thing. So we're going to wrap up with a short little story here in a moment, but before we get there, I find if you don't have folks make a verbal commitment and maybe even write it down, they'll forget what they heard. And you may make the mistake of walking through these doors here in a moment thinking that this session was all about John, and it's not. It's all about you, your lives, your business, and what we're going to do with it going forward. So I'd like you, one final time, to turn to the lady or the gentleman nearest you and get ready to share your commitment. Here's how it's going to sound this time. Oh, hi again. Yeah. I didn't think he was going to live either. And then you're going to say this. Ready? Because of today's message, I commit to. One thing. It could be a phone call back home. It could be journaling each night. It could be returning to your spiritual background. It could be diving full tilt into your work. Because of today's message, I commit to. 90 seconds, please. Share with your friends. Do you think that one person can change the world if they show some spirit? Yes or no? I'm convinced of it. This dome is lit up with your spirit today, but I got to share with you one quick example of someone else who modeled some remarkable spirit for me as a kid. 2 years ago, I was speaking at an organization, and it was not quite this size, but there were a lot of folks there. And after I finished, the leader walked out. He stood behind the podium, and he said to me, "Fella, all summer long, you've been trying to shine light into our darkness. We wanted to reflect a little bit of light back your way." So I said, "Okay." He said, "Fella, you had a nurse who did great work for you." And I said, "Man, I had a lot of great nurses, a lot of great folks served." And he said, "Well, man, you had one nurse in particular, this large African-American fellow." Well, and I said, that was probably Nurse Roy. And then he says, "John, what did that man used to say to you?" And Cincy, do you remember what that man used to say? "Keep going. You'll walk with you, and then I'll walk with you. I'll walk with you." So I said that. And then the gentleman behind the podium looks at me and he says, "Fella, that is not what he would say. I bet you what he would say would sound nothing like that. It sounded a lot more like this." And all of a sudden I hear this mic crank on, and then that pierce behind it, this big boom. And then I heard this voice. "Boy, you are walking again. I am proud to walk with you." And then since they pull back this curtain, and in Eufaula, Alabama, they bring out Nurse Roy. They paid a private investigator 3 weeks' salary to track this man down. Dog Bounty Hunter would have had him in 24 minutes. That is a fact. They tracked him down, they brought him in, they surprised him and me. We had an incredible time, and that night he shared with me 3 things that I'm going to leave you with. Here we go. First thing he said was this: do not write these down. "John, it shocks me that you did something with your life. Oh, thank you, Roy." And then he says, "But you know what surprises me more? How beautiful your wife is." "Glad they found you. This is great." And then he says, "But you know what surprises me the most?" And I said, "Man, I don't want to hear it." He said, "I'm going to tell you, John, you need to hear it. It's Cincy, friends, family. You need to hear this." He says to me, "What surprises me the most is to learn, after 27 years, that my work and my life mattered." He never fully knew the degree to which his life mattered. And I would imagine sometimes there are nights where you go home and you put your head down on that pillow and you're thinking, "My gosh, is it worth it? Is there a better way? Is there an easier way? Is it worth it really?" And when I remind 8,000 friends that the music blasts, baby, heck yes, it's worth it. It is worth it every day. The opportunity then is to show your Cincy spirit through 3 ways. Here we go. Love, why, and by asking yourself that question, does your spirit light other folks? What more can I do? My friends, I'm sticking around at gate 3, or wherever that, the section hall 3. I'm going to be the last guy out of here today. Come on by and visit me. Come on by if you want a book or whatever else you take one. I'm looking forward to being with all you guys. God bless you. Continue boldly. Thank you.
Well, did you guys like it? Yeah. I know it's not as powerful and, it's not live in person, but you can follow him on Facebook
slow that down. Sorry. There we go. His book is phenomenal too. So find him on Facebook. Does anybody still get the emails? I get emails from him every week. I don't know if some of you guys do. You can subscribe. Huh?
Chad does.
Or you can.
Mine never went through.
Mine never went through.
Oh, I get them. Yeah, they're great, like motivational, just encouraging, empowering emails. So I want to encourage you guys to do that too. Thank you so much. And I don't know all of you guys personally. I hope I get to know some of you better. But when I watched this and I was thinking about John O'Leary today, and I was thinking this would be good. I was like, there's so many people in our group that, they constantly do that. And there are a couple of them that I was thinking of was Christina Cloud. If you guys don't know Christina, there she's in the back. She looks surprised, but that's Christina. And I won't get too personal, but I can tell you, and I don't know if Christina's ever really shared her story, but she was in a horrific car accident many years ago, her and her son, and they have had so many surgeries, and they've just overcome. Christina's always here. She's always smiling. She's always helping. And I'm just really so thrilled to have her in this group. And she is one that just, what more can I do? If you need something, if I call Christina, she'll be there. And a lot of times Chad will be there too. So I just wanted to call her out because she's such a great example. And I don't know if you got one of these, but this is from John O'Leary. It came with my kit, and it just says on here, what more can I do? So you can wear that just as a little reminder of how awesome you are. And another person that I was thinking of too was Betsy Smith over here. Betsy is always here too. Betsy's had a lot of different health issues and have overcome a lot of things, but she too is always quick. How can I help? Do you need my help? What can I do? She smiles, she's helpful. So Betsy, I have one of these for you too, my dear. And then another person that's here that, I know this was probably a bit too close and personal for her, but she persevered it. I was worried a little bit about Miss Angela. But Angela McElwain actually has a very personal story similar to John's. And she too is just such a great example of someone who's always here, always willing to help. She's so strong. She's so awesome and has grown so much. So you too, Angela, I've got one of these for you because you guys really do. You inspire me because I feel like I know personally some of the things you guys have gone through. You inspire me, you encourage me, and I feel very blessed to have you in our group. So I just wanted to highlight you. And I'm sure all of you have got stories. I know we've all overcame things. And I hope that you'll use those things to just empower you and hear the message. Like he said, we all have our reasons, we all have our purpose, and we all have more we can do. So what is that for you? How are you going to do that personally? What are you going to do with your business? And if you've got a team, let's dig down deep. Maybe we can be that one person, just like that nurse, that, made a difference and made an impact on them staying in the business, maybe becoming successful. Maybe it's about money, maybe it's not about money. Maybe it's just because you show you care, and you build them up and you give them a belief that no one else has given them before. So there's so many things we can do in our journey with Sensi besides just pay the bills. And I want you guys to reflect on that, and hopefully you can make that a priority in 2016 as we go forward and can do that as well. So with that, I hope that wasn't too deep for you guys. And I know we have a newbie, and just so you know, a lot of times we do different trainings and stuff, but I just thought this was neat, so I hope you were able to enjoy it as well for your first meeting. And something I asked some of our participants have been participating in our Sun and Bliss Leadership Development University, and I had asked them to bring their on-the-go pouches. Did anybody bring their on-the-go workout? Oh, great. Would you mind coming up and kind of sharing with that? And if you don't have a mobile office, one of the challenges that they had, their weekly assignments, was to create a mobile office so that they can have that with them. And so if you would, just introduce yourself. You can't mess this up. You're with family. Just introduce yourself. And then, oh, good. She's good. She's good at public speech. She's in debate, so I better be careful here. And if you would share with us what you have in your mobile office, that would be great.
So I made a mini mobile office because, well, I'm broke, so I'm working on the big one. Yeah. So if you don't know, this is 31, but you can buy it. I just made it the same. In the inside, I put in my samples that I've been handing out all week because that was our homework assignment. I just have like the little paper handout thing with all the products and warmers on there. And then also in this product are the Warmer of the Month catalog for coming up February and then January. I was trying to keep at least 2 months in there. And then, can you smell it?
I was just going to say, I opened this up and I'm sitting over here going, wine. This is amazing. This scent of the month, by the way, you guys. The
Super
pear blossom
strong.
and cucumber is unbelievable. You have to have it because
Yeah,
it smells
this
amazing.
is what my desk smelled like all
Yeah, this
day.
smells incredible. I was thinking that same thing. Oh, this is nice.
It was really good. But then I also have business cards in here, and because I just have one set of mini testers, and I try and use them for back parties. I don't really carry the mini testers in here with me because this is what stays with me and doesn't go out to other people. So I have in our kit, I got the scratch and sniff, or like peel and sniff, like a little key ring. And so that's what I have in here of the classics. So if they want to just smell something besides the scent of the month, and then just like little oil FQ or description cards of the new oils. And then in here, I actually have the order forms with my little label thing on it, and then catalogs, although I'm running low on catalogs because I've also handed those out.
Awesome. Good.
So that's my mini one, and this fits in my work bag that I have every day, and then in my diaper bag, my car. It's my purse because I don't carry a purse, so I just throw my debit card inside one of the zipper pockets and pay that way.
Awesome. Very good. Thank you. What'd you say?
Where'd you get your little bag?
This is through 31 Gifts, she said. Did anybody else bring their mobile office?
It's a
Did
timeless
anybody else? You brought, oh yes, of course, yes. Mike actually did bring his mobile office for those of you that are joining this live stream. I'll post a picture later, but he truly brought his mobile office. We need to say a huge thank you to Mike, by the way. If you've got team members that are joining us from other areas, huge thank you to Mike and Katrina. Because, sorry? There's 8 people online. Well, that's good. And so encourage your team members in the future to watch it. Now, is this recorded or?
Yeah.
Okay, so they can even watch the playback later. So, and I'm sure Mike and Katrina will post that. So thank you both for taking time and away from your boys. They have 3 boys, so we appreciate you guys. So nobody else brought their mobile office. See, I thought you did, Erica. Get up here, girl. Come on up. Bring it up. You can set it up here if you want to. That's okay. It's all good. Okay. Here, you gotta tell me. Can you hear her? Okay. See, they got this. You gotta talk.
Okay, my name is Erica, and this is my mobile office, but I don't recommend this because it fell out in the car when I came to a stop. I was like, but anyways, it is a 31 bag as well, and inside of it I have another 31 doodad that's in 2, it's got 2 pockets, and I have the January scent of the month, and I've got order forms and a clipboard and something I've been trying to mail for about a week.
I like the clipboards too because if you're out and about, this makes it easier for people to write on. Like if they need to like give your address, email. That's really a good addition. Yes.
I have been giving out a lot of bring back my bar samples because I made a lot. I'm like giving them to anybody who will look at me, so they were in there too. And it is a mess. Some more stuff, but yeah.
Anyway,
That's
so
what I
she's
care.
got hers, and I will tell you something else I would, oh good, we got another on the shelf, good, thank you. That's how you do it. Is also, it's nice if you have some 3 packs of light bulbs, because I can't tell you how many times I'm out and about in a parking lot or somewhere, and people are like, oh my gosh, you so Scentsy, do you have light bulbs? And it's really awesome when you just happen to have them on you. I mean, then they're like, man, this girl's a rock star, or a guy. So just something else you might throw in there if you have room. Betsy, do you want to share what you have in yours? Come on up. So if you don't have your mobile office, you need to have your mobile office where it can stay with you in your car and come in and out. I know many of you have one, but I called out these participants to bring theirs. Okay, Betsy. Okay, Betsy.
Usually, what I'm gonna have, especially when I go to work, because I do security out of the stadium, and I usually go out to the stadium and I do security work there. Okay, that's like that. Okay. I'll break loose here a little bit. So, as you all know, when you go to the stadium, you have to have clear bags in a certain size. And I'm that person that'll make you mad and say, sorry, you can't come in. That's my job, okay? And I have to follow the same rules, is have a clear bag about the size of a notebook paper. So I started to carry this bag, and I have my big sensing pens, other stuff, well, it's got other personal stuff in there now. But I carry this in there as well as some of my testers. And I had a room spray in there, I don't know what happened to it. But I also have one of the consultants did, who's a very good friend of mine, is Stephanie. She put together a bring back bar set for me of testers. Because
This even says bring back my bar.
yeah,
That's
she
cool.
awarded that for me.
Wow.
Stephanie Breimer did that, if anybody knows who she is.
Wow.
Very close with her family. That was my last week I was working at the last game before the playoffs. They're like, oh, bring some more.
And she laminated this? That's
Yeah, she did a
nice.
really nice stuff for me in there. And now they call me the Cincy Lady at work. So, and they have a warmer there because I brought all this stuff in. When you go in at 4:30 in the morning, you don't get launded and checked like everybody else does, so it's kind of cool. Because you don't leave until like 8 o'clock at night, you do a 15-hour shift. And so, I actually got to give Mike Mostalkas a Cincy little warmer test thing, so that was really cool. I got my selfie with him. So that was really cool. So yeah, that was really awesome. After 13 hours, going, can I finish? And then I see him. I was like, oh my gosh, Sophie, please. I got it. So it does help. I do have my samples that we were supposed to make to hand out. My niece took them to her school and we've been handing them out to her teachers and to her friends. And she says, Aunt Betsy, I want a Cincy buddy for my backpack. So we got her a Dragon one just yesterday morning. So she wanted that. All her friends are thinking it's cool. So it does pay off to have your on the go.
Very good.
Thank you, Betsy. Yes.
I also have, no, it's in here.
For lottery
Yes.
tickets. Yes, drawing slips for people to fill out.
Very
Very good.
good. The clipboard idea.
Yes.
Easy for them to
Fill it out better,
fill it out.
yes, that's very good. Good job, this is for you too, my dear. Okay, and then Erica,
You're so welcome.
yes, and then Erica, you're gonna share with us too.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, Erica,
Mine's a little bigger because
big is good.
I take this with me so that if somebody wants a bag party, that I have it already. I already have everything set up. So I have, all the testers obviously in here, and then I carry this around. This is where all my samples and everything are in. And then I have that. So I have this already.
Note on there.
Mhm.
Tell me about the sticky note.
So I have this, it's got all of everything, like little inserts, sorry. It's got inserts, it's got inserts and everything in here. And then if somebody wanted to just take a look at it, then I can get their information and write down on the sticky note who they are, and all that good stuff. So that actually does help. It actually helped me today when I was out at work and somebody wanted some more information and took this out of my bag, just peeled off the sticky note, wrote all of her information down, so it helps. And if somebody does want my bag, then I have another small bag that I kind of transfer a whole bunch of my other stuff into this, and then I kind of just give them this bag for their bag to go.
Very good.
Excellent, good job. Thank you guys, thank you for sharing. And also, don't take these because they're hers, but if you want to smell the scent of the month, if you haven't smelled it yet, it is amazing. And seriously, you need to be sure you load up on it because I think it's going to be one of the best sellers. It's really, really good. Okay, does anybody have any questions or anything before we call it a night? Okay, well, don't forget, oh, yes, do you want to say something?
Like you said on the diffusers, 10%, but if you take it at 10%, you can't do the half price, like a combined.
Correct, you'll get 10% off in February on a diffuser, but you can't use it for half price at 10%. You get half price of the regular rate. That is correct. And if you don't have a diffuser yet, you need to be begging, pleading, crying, calling, following up, whatever you gotta do to get your order in this month, because remember, $200 parties this month, it gets 2 half price, and you can get a diffuser for half price. So now's the time to really work hard to get that in. Because if you have a diffuser, I'm telling you, you will sell them. If you don't have one, it's a little harder unless they've seen it in person. So, with that being said, March 17th, wear green, So you can, oh, I do have some drawings though. Oops, and I didn't get you guys to fill anything out. You want to stick around? Okay, hang on, let me get your, but I'll say so long to all of you joining us online. We're glad you joined us. And then I have some drawing slips for you guys.